Such a talkative bunch tonight.
I think everyone's on mute.
Oh. I don't want to talk to you. So rude.
I just ate a burger.
We'll give it like 1 more minute.
Good burger. Hi, Addie. Hi, Michelle. Drew, is that a Bailey too? Is Bailey gonna do this with us? Hi. And the Aikens. I love that I call you that, even though it's not a thing. I know, but you're the Aikens. And the Bridgewaters. And the Abby and the dog butt. It's just straight dog ass. Lisa, hi Lisa. Tiffany. Hi Marnie. I can kind of see you.
In the dark.
Give him maybe 1 more minute to join. Oh, I don't have my watch on.
All right, I got it. Okay, per usual, if you have like a strap or a band or a sweatshirt or a towel or something, that'd be helpful, but not ever required.
And it's laying on the floor.
A hoodie?
Yeah, that's what you just said.
Hoodie.
A hoodie? Yeah, that's literally the instructions you just gave.
It just helps you if you can't grab your foot at a couple of
He cannot grab his foot. Neither can I.
things that we have around.
Oh,
I grab my foot.
he cannot.
Somebody challenging me to grab my foot?
Luke thinks yoga's like competitive, so he'll be like sweating and shaking, and I'm like, I think you're trying too hard. Maybe like dial it in a little.
Grunting the entire time.
Everything is a competition to him.
Well, when I can hear him and he's holding his breath, I'm like, okay, if it hurts, you're not supposed to be going that far.
You'll make a separate yoga for time series.
I know. Like how far can you reach? You know, like the sit and reach contest, like in PE. We get to this and Luke's like, I got this. All right, you ready?
I don't know if you're making fun of me.
Hi, Tabitha. Annie. It's an Annie. All right.
Okay. Everybody good?
Something.
Some sort of, if a couple of the newcomers, if you don't have like a strap or a band or a towel or something like that would be super helpful, but not required. But if you have it, you might appreciate it, especially if you have tight quads. But essentially anything that could grab your foot works. Other than that, I will have everybody meet on your stomach, please. Just find a comfortable spot. I like how the dog's in the camera. It's my favorite part of this.
Mine were.
All right, and as always, I'll work as best as I can with my camera angle so you can see me, but it's kind of hard. Okay. So from here, just bend your knees, find a little sway from side to side, drop your ankles from one side to the other. Just feel a release through your lower back. I know your feet don't have to come all the way to the ground. If they make it there, awesome. If not, cool. And if your forehead is on the mat, find just a sway back and forth with your head as well. Let your neck go. Release through your jaw. That's a really easy place for us to hold tension without really realizing it. And from here, take your right leg up. So your right knee comes to a 90-degree angle, just like this. So your knee is directly out from your hip. So if you think of your shin and your quad, you're making an L shape. And find a slight flex with your toes back towards your knees. I like to be up on my forearms for this to find a little more stretch through my back and through my chest. If you prefer to be down like this, just find a spot where it's comfortable. Just depending on how mobile you are in your hip will really depend on how difficult or how relaxing this feels. But always just make sure you're in a spot where you don't have any sensation of pain. Just a little bit of a stretch. And you can move around a little bit from side to side here. I think depending on which direction I move, I feel a little bit more into my hips. And if you're on your forearms and you want to add a little bit more, you can add some movement. You'll come all the way down and then press up just a little bit. And to me, if you want to hold that, you can. That doesn't feel great to me, but it does feel okay if I move up and down. Just find a spot that works for you. We'll just be here for a few more rounds of breath, so not a super long time. And from here, find your left forearm to the ground. Your right arm will reach up. Find a little bit of an opening through your chest. Right arm reaches up. And then take your right arm underneath your left, just like a thread the needle. Yeah, you guys are doing great. And you can let your forehead come to the ground here if it can reach, or your ear, whatever. For me, that doesn't work so well. Maybe it works better for you. We'll just be here for a moment, so no need to relax or go too deep into this. And we'll switch out from here. So right arm comes back, then extend your right leg back. Just shake it out a little bit and we'll switch sides. Now you know what to expect. And so this time your left knee comes up. You'll find a 90-degree bend in your left knee. Again, find that L shape between your shin and your quad. For me, I have one side that's a lot tighter than the other and it tends to cramp up a little bit. So just meet yourself where you're at. If you need to let go on this side versus the other, that's totally fine. And again, you've got options. You can stay down here. You can come up here onto your forearms. Go where it works for you. If you're on your forearms, encourage your shoulders back so you get a little bit more opening through your chest. Stay here for a couple rounds of breath, and then if you added the movement on, like on the other side, do so here as well. So have you come down if you found movement on the other side, just to even yourself out and then press up. Good. Hold if you want to or continue to move. Just a few more rounds of breath here at a spot that feels good to you. Good. When you're ready, take your left arm up, open through your chest. And left arm comes underneath your body and underneath your right arm. When you feel even, release back from that. Left arm comes back up and then down. Then take your left leg back, just shake it out a little bit from side to side, even out your back. Now, however you want to get there, you can just come up to a tabletop position. If you need to rock back and forth a couple times, move around. There's no rights or wrongs here. Just move in a way that feels good. And from all fours, your tabletop position will find cat and cow. So with your inhale, your belly will drop, your gaze will go high, stomach to the ground. And exhale, reverse that. Think like a Halloween cat. So you'll round through your back, chin comes in towards your chest, really press the ground away here. Good. Inhale to open up, allow your collarbone to open. Exhale, press away. Good. 2 more times through. Breath in to open. Exhale, close. Last one. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat. And from here, find a neutral spine. Extend your left leg back. Your toes tucked under, so your toes are still on the ground, just tucked under like that. Good, stay here for a breath in. And then with your breath out, press your heel back down towards the ground or to the mat, whatever you're on. Should feel a pretty good stretch through your calf here. Good, we'll add on a very similar cat-cow movement here. So with your inhale, hinge forward, open through your chest, toes stay on the ground. Then exhale, press back, press the ground away, your heel presses to the ground. Good. Inhale, come forward, open through your chest on your tiptoes. Exhale, press back. And one more just like that for a total of 4, I think. And press back. And from here, we'll open up to an assisted side plank. So your right hand is down, left arm reaches high. Your right knee is down as well. And from here, take your left foot off the ground, bend through your left knee, and grab the knife edge of your left foot with your left hand. So this is where the strap or the band, sweatshirt, whatever you've got, could come in handy if you don't have the mobility to grab your foot from here. Really focus on the kick. So your chest presses towards the front of you or towards whatever wall you're facing. Really kick, kick, kick. Yeah. Go ahead and release that stretch or hold it if you want to. Come back down to your one-legged tabletop, if you will, and then sink your hips down towards your heel. But so it kind of looks like a half pigeon, but not quite. Sorry, this one's harder to demo when I'm wearing all black. Good, and then I'll have you, just with your breath, with your exhale, take your heel towards your hips, and then release. Heel towards your hips. Release. 2 more like that for a total of 4. To your hips. And back. And last one. And back. Good, so come back to your tabletop position. Scoot yourself forward. And then we will find that on the other side as well. So this time your right foot comes back. Toes are tucked under. Go ahead and press your shin back towards, or your heel rather, back, or to the back of you, to the ground. And after you held that for just a little bit, move with your breath here. So with your inhale, hinge forward, open through your chest, come onto your tiptoe. And exhale, press back. Good. 3 more. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Last 2. Front. And press back. Then come forward. And back. And from here, open up towards your side plank position. So this time your left knee is down. For a little assist, your left hand is down as well. Right arm reaches up. And then take your right foot off the ground once you have your balance. Again, grabbing your strap if you need it. Bend through your right knee and grab the knife edge of your right foot with your left hand. Again, make the focus through your kick here. So kick into your hand, open up through your chest. Release the bind that you have. Your foot comes back down to the ground. Find your tabletop position. Right foot goes back, and then sink your hips all the way back. So you're sitting on your shin. Good. Once you have your balance here, your hands can be wherever you'd like. Bend through your right knee this time, so your right heel comes towards your hips. And release. And 3 more there. Towards your hips. And back. Then keep your hips as low to the ground as you can here. They definitely will not touch. Just know that's the direction you're moving towards. And once you have your total of 4, come back to a tabletop position. Take your hands a couple inches out in front of you. Tuck your toes under. Find a downward facing dog, heels back, hips go high. Good, and find a pedal through your feet. So one heel down, then the other heel down. And maybe lift both heels up high, come all the way onto your tiptoes. And then relax both your heels down. Start to open up through your hamstrings. And with your next breath in, lift both heels up high. Tiny steps forward all the way up to meet your hands. As many little steps as you can take, which for you is maybe 10 or maybe 3, wherever you're at is awesome. Then find a ragdoll from here. So you'll interlace opposite arm to opposite bicep so you have a frame for your face. And then just let your head hang heavy. And find a sway from side to side. Nod your head yes. Or shake your head no. Again, check in with your jaw, see if you had any tension build up there. And release your hands to the ground. You'll find a halfway lift from here. So with your inhale, press your hands into something, most likely your shins or your quads, to find a long, flat spine. Shoulder blades squeeze together so you could hold a pencil in place there. With your exhale, fold forward, forward fold. Then inhale, rise all the way up, mountain pose. Arms reach high. I'll do this from my knees so you guys can hopefully see me. Then with your exhale, find a mini back bend. Cactus your arms or goal post. Your heart goes high, your gaze goes high. The inhale, reach your arms back up, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Hands come through heart center. Fingertips touch towards the ground, maybe. And with your inhale, find a halfway lift, long, flat spine. Exhale, fold in, chest falls. 2 more times through. Inhale, mountain pose all the way up. Exhale, mini back bend here. Let inhale, reach high. We'll add on from here. Exhale, side body stretch to the right. So grab your left wrist with your right hand and stretch over. Now the key here is to keep the weight even through your right and your left foot. It's really easy for us to dump all the weight over to the right hand side, but to get an even stretch, try to keep your weight even. And with your inhale, come up to center. Exhale, side body stretch to the left. So grab your right wrist with your left hand. Keep your shoulders in place so you don't overstretch yourself. Just reach up through your side bodies. Inhale, reach up high. Exhale, forward fold. Come all the way down. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, high plank this time. Plant your hands, step your feet back, lower all the way down. And we'll find a scorpion to each side, just like at the gym here. So arms out to the side. Take your left foot over to the right hand side. Come back to center. Good, and switch out, right foot over to the left. Come back to center. Good, press yourself up, high plank. Use your knees if you need them. And exhale, downward facing dog, hips high. Good, inhale, lift your heels up. Exhale, tiny steps forward. Meet your hands at a forward fold. With your breath in, find a halfway lift. Take your time to get there, no rush. And exhale, fold down. Chest comes down. Then inhale, rise all the way up, mountain pose. Reach your fingertips high. Exhale, mini back bend, open your chest. Inhale, reach up. Side body stretch. Stretch over to the right hand side. Inhale to center. Exhale to the left. Grab your left or your right wrist rather. Inhale, center, reach high. Exhale, forward fold, chest down. With your breath in, halfway lift, press your hands into something. Exhale, high plank, plant your hands, feet step back. Lower all the way down, most controlled push-up you've done today. Good. And scorpions to each side. Start with whatever direction you would like. And hands come underneath your shoulders. Press yourself up, high plank, or use your knees. Do tabletop, skip it all together. Just find your way to downward facing dog. And with your inhale, right leg reaches up and back. Exhale, low lunge. Step your right foot in between your hands, all the way in between your hands. So if you need to drop your knee and then take your foot forward, totally fine. And from here, we'll find a crescent moon. So I'll have you drop your hips as low to the ground as you can. Again, definitely will not touch or be anywhere near. That's just the direction they're working towards. And your arms can come high. Your hands can come to your front knee. You can have one hand at your front knee, one hand at your lower back. Whatever works here. You should feel this quite a bit in your hip flexor, depending on how much movement you may or may not have done today. One more round of breath. See if you can take your hips just a little bit lower. As always, does not have to be big to be significant here. And with your breath in, arms reach up high towards the ceiling. And exhale to half split. So you'll straighten through your right leg. Bring your hands down so they frame your right leg as well. So a hand on each side. And know your knee can definitely still have a big bend in it here. It does not need to be perfectly straight at all. From here, you can find a few different variations to get into different parts of your hamstring. So you can flex back towards your, you can flex your toes forward so your foot comes flat to the mat, the ground. You can take your foot to the right hand side or to the left hand side. Just find a spot that feels good to you. Exhale your air out here. Inhale, hinge back forward to a low lunge. Back knee is still down here though. And then take your right foot over, so you'll find a runner's lunge. This time your hands are inside your right foot. And from here you can stay up on your hands. If you want to drop down to your forearms, you can do that. Sometimes I just like to be up on my hands and then open and close my right knee. And a little bit of movement. If you're on your forearms, make your way back up to your hands. And take your right leg high, up and back. Three-legged dog, just shake it out a little bit. Blood back in, and your right foot comes down from there. With your inhale, left leg goes high this time. Exhale, step all the way through. Left foot comes in between your hands. Drop your right knee down. And then from here, find your crescent moon. So your arms reach high. Your hips move towards the ground. Again, not touching the ground, just the general direction. If you found a different variation with your hands on the other side, go for it. Your hands can be down on your front knee, one hand on your back, one hand on your knee. Whatever feels best. With your inhale, take your arms up high towards the ceiling. Exhale, half split, straighten through your left leg. Again, does not need to be perfectly straight. Never go to a spot where you're hurting yourself, just a spot where you feel something. And your hands are framing your left leg. And know you have options to feel this in a different spot here, just like the other side. So you can flex your toes back towards your face. Take your toes at your foot towards the ground, so your whole foot is flat. You might take your toes over to the right hand side or to the left. Just find the spot that feels best and hold that for the last couple rounds of breath here. With your next breath in, hinge forward, find a low lunge. You stay on your back knee though. Just drop your left knee over to the side. Find your runner's lunge. And the key here is try to mirror the sensation that you had on the other side, which might mean that if on the other side you were on your forearms, this side you might be on your hands. Instead, don't feel the need to force yourself into something just because you did it on the other side. Just even yourself out sensation-wise. If you're on your forearms, make your way back up to your hands. Take your right leg off the mat. Left leg reaches high, shake it out. Go ahead and drop down to your knees. Have your legs come out in front of you this time, and we'll set up for a seated figure 4. So both feet will come flat to the ground, and take your right leg up and over your left knee. You can stay right here if you want to sway from side to side. I sometimes feel a lot more if I take my hips in one direction versus the other. But no, this is a really good spot to stay if this feels good to you and you feel like you have a pretty good stretch here. If you want a little bit more option to move into fire log. So for fire log, let me adjust this. Your shin that is with your foot on the ground, you would just parallel that to the ground, and then your top shin comes parallel to that. Now the key here is that you really want to think of, if your legs are fire logs, they are stacked directly on top of one another. There's no like one's more forward and one's more back. This is pretty intense for a lot of people, so know if this is too much for you, or if you have a big gap in between your foot and your knee, you are doing it right. And remember, this is a great place to be as well. But you'll just be here for one more round of breath, so if you feel okay here, just stay. And from here, just extend your top leg out straight in front of you. We'll move right into a forward fold from here. So your left foot is somewhere inside your right leg, or vice versa if you did the other side first, and just fold forward. And walk your hands back up. We'll repeat on the other side. I have one more quick thing for you and you'll be done here. So this time your left leg crosses over your right. For your figure 4, start here. So your right foot is flat to the ground, left knee is bent. You can stay right where you're at and just hold, or find a little movement from side to side. And again, respect if this side is a lot different. If you want a little bit more, just take your right foot out to the left-hand side and then parallel both shins on top of one another. So in order to get both shins on top of one another, it's probably pretty intense or relatively uncomfortable for a lot of you, or you might have a big gap here. Just work with it. We're not holding this for very long. Just keep in mind, you never want to be at a spot where it's painful. And start to make your way back up. And then your left foot stretches out in front of you, just like we did on the other side. Find a forward fold from here. And rise all the way up. Just find a cross-legged position. We'll take a quick twist to each direction and then you'll be out of here. And so with your breath in, both arms come up high, reach up. And with your exhale, your left hand finds your right knee, right hand drops behind you. And then with your inhale, crown of your head reaches tall towards the ceiling. Exhale, find a little twist. Then we'll switch sides. With your inhale, arms reach up high. And exhale, twist. Right hand finds your left knee, left hand behind you. With your inhale, find length, grow a little taller. And your exhale, twist. The inhale, come to center. And you are good to go from there. If you have any questions, concerns, requests for next time, holler, let me know. I'm happy to take them. Otherwise, have a good rest of your night.
Thank you. Are you Sunday is Easter? Are you not skipping Sunday this week?
Oh, I can do Sunday if people want it. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Great job. Feels
Supposed to
good.
snow on Sunday.
What's that?
It's supposed to snow on Sunday.
Ugh,
Yeah, I'm not excited about it.
me
That's
either.
tough. Thanks
All
for
right.
yogaing with us. Look
Yeah,
at
thank you.
cat. He's an animal, folks. Look at him go. Have a good night, guys. Have a glass of wine. I'm going to. Annie, I know you will too.
Annie left.
Bye, guys.
Anybody
Bye.
see Derek? Derek popped
He
on for like,
hopped on for like 2 seconds.
I told him and Danny to join us, but they were they're house hunting. So I think they were like driving around and maybe had just gotten home. But I'll keep harassing them until we get them on.
The cat.
Bye, guys. Look at him go. He's so wild. Apple's got cats too. Bridgewater's just got a dog that's up in his
Willow.
grill.
Thanks, Elizabeth.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Barney, turn your mic on.
Martin's in the garden.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Hey, what's up, Biggs?